Hello again and welcome to another episode of the Franchise Everything podcast, where we talk about everything and anything franchising. And as pretty much always I say, we're at somewhere very different today. We're joined by Greg Prussia, who's the National Business Development Manager of Bedshed. And we're at, where are we, Greg?
Caringbah, New South Wales, Glenn.
Yes. Thank you. Bedshed, Caringbah. And this is your newest store in the network, isn't it?
It sure is, yeah.
All right. When did it open?
Opened about 4 weeks ago now. We've been trading.
Yeah.
Took a good 2 months to build.
To build the shop?
Yeah, there's a lot into it. It's quite a detailed shop, this one.
The size, square metres, this one, size?
Just under 500. So it's the smallest in our network, at under 500 square metres.
Yep.
But it's very detailed because obviously we try and fit a lot into such a small space, but still make it flow. So it took a lot of work.
Okay, excellent. And what we're going to, we really wanted to wait to be at Caringbah here because we could have done a podcast at another time, at another venue we're at together, but we wanted to be here because it particularly relates to this one, because this one is going to be, we're going to talk about how Bedshed is basically saving 75% out of cost out of a major component that it takes to build this store, which means lower cost, lower entry costs for franchisees. And you told me about this and I thought this is a very interesting approach. So first of all, describe what Bedshed does, and then let's move on to what the thing is that's saving so much money. And this is the first store you've been able to roll that out in.
Yeah, sure thing. So Bedshed, we've been around for 45 years now. We're a retailer of mattresses and bedroom furniture.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I probably should have a drum roll, shouldn't we? So what is the strategy that's lowering 75% of a major input component costs in your stores?
Well, we noticed if I can just back up a little bit, a story behind
it.
Give some
context.
We noticed over the COVID period when we started opening more stores that pricing was increasing of materials, labor, and so forth. So we had a look at how can we reduce the entry cost into Bedshed. Mm-hmm. During COVID, our entry cost went well beyond $1 million to get in on a normal size store. So,
and that certainly changes the playing field for the
sure
type
does.
of investor, the type of owner, and everything. It really takes it into another category, doesn't it?
You bet, you bet. And there's not a lot of people in that other category who are looking.
Yeah.
So we had a look at what we can do and how can we save our franchisees more money without compromising the integrity and the look and the feel of a Bedshed store. So the logical step is, why not use our furniture manufacturers, because Bedshed manufacture all our own furniture. Mm-hmm. Why not use one of our bedding manufacturers to actually build our joinery? So after we did a lot of samples and costing analysis of what it's going to be, we wind up what we feel having the same, if not better quality joinery. Mm-hmm. And I look at joinery as, if we remove all the furniture,
because that's what I was going to say. What are we referring to when we talk about joinery?
Let's get rid of the mattresses.
Yep.
And let's turn the store upside down.
Yeah.
Everything that falls out is joinery.
Okay. Well, we're talking like
our
these
bed heads,
frame bed heads that are sitting behind
bed
us.
heads.
Yep.
Our counter is joinery as well.
Your point of sale counter.
Point of sale. And we've also got the front of the store, we have what we call flexi walls, which are featured walls that beds get put behind.
So those sorts of walls sort of separate and create little nooks for you then turn into like a diorama of a bedroom type of thing.
That's right. It makes you feel like you're in the new bedroom and this is what your bedroom can feel like, because we display our furniture not like this is your area of bedside tables or chest of drawers. We display it as this is what your bedroom can look like as a full suite. And we also, match up Manchester for it and so forth. So anyway, back to the point of the story. We used our manufacturers of who've been building our furniture for over a decade now, and they sampled out our joinery that we needed, and we've been able to bring our joinery costs down considerably. 70, 75, 80%, depending on the joinery element, savings in
Rather than
cost
locally made.
Compared to locally made. We've been using a locally made one, which quality was second to none, the service was second to none, and the turnaround time was exactly on time every time. So we couldn't fault that whatsoever. We do have, obviously, with the saving, there comes a little bit of an Achilles heel with that. And
You've
that
got to have some lead time, haven't you?
We need lead time.
I was about to say, how does that impact that?
We need lead time because it's not something we can just call up and order and it comes across. We have to put the order in, and it has to fit in with the scheduling of when do the next containers for Bedshed Australia come out to Australia.
All your furniture with this in
come
it.
out. So we got to slot that in. And
but
so
I would have thought it's not like you're building stores every week.
No.
So you do have a little bit of lead time generally, and big box retail for leasing is pretty tight, isn't it? So mostly that's not going to be an issue, is it? It's just you've probably got a bit more work to do.
I've got a bit more work to do. Yeah, a bit more work to do, and the people behind the scenes who make it happen are on a shorter time frame to actually get it done when we need it. But we're looking at now, instead of a 6-week turnaround on joinery, we're looking maybe a 3-month turnaround, which we can make work.
And I bet the potential franchisee or the incoming franchisee can make work. So you talk about 75% roughly saving. What is that like in this store, for example? So this is the first time you've rolled it out, is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So this store here is probably, it is definitely our smallest footprint in the network. And a joinery bill of around, it would have been close to 200 grand. We've brought that down in the vicinity of 50 grand.
From 200 to about 50.
From 200 to about 50.
That's an enormous drop with one.
It is.
We'll call it one strategy or one change.
Without compromising. That's the big thing. Yep. Without compromising. And then we've also taken that saving one step more, and we looked at the actual fit out of the store. So we got the joinery elements that go in, and the fit out, which is lighting, flooring, walls, painting, electrics, that sort of thing. How can we save that as well? And this store here, we've changed up a few things. Yep. We've gone to a different lighting supplier. Lighting's a key thing for us. It's what sells.
Well, it's great. It's like we haven't had to use lighting to film this because the lighting's so nice.
But if you have a look, there's very little shadowing.
Yep.
So lighting's a big thing. So we changed lighting supplier, brought some costs down there. We're looking at different flooring applications without compromising the feel. And we've been able to bring some costs down there as well. All of this has come about in the last 6 to 12 months, which made this franchisee incredibly happy because he signed up about 2 years ago.
Yeah, he waited a while.
Without these savings in mind. And when we come back to him and say, hey, this is what the new cost is going to be, we do have a very happy franchisee.
Because in an environment where the public is hearing materials cost, labour, everything has gone up.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think we're just very fortunate. The factories that we've been using for over a decade overseas, this one particular factory, we get a lot of our furniture from, and their quality is second to none. It's you can't really compare. It's great.
Just a little bit of digress a little bit. Why 2-year wait? What was the franchise owner
for the franchisee?
Signed up 2 years ago? What was that?
He after going through the process of getting approved to become a franchisee, he realized, I think it's something that really perks his interest. It's something that he can really see him and his family getting involved in. It's to him, his whole idea was retail because this is his first stint into retail. Yep. His idea of retail was perhaps what you and I know is sort of like a fast transaction. Yep. Low value, fast transaction, a lot of it.
And the only reason he's not telling the story, he's not here today.
He's not here today. He's a little bit camera shy, I think, as well. I don't think he wants to admit it.
I was trying to be gentle.
No, a little bit camera shy. If you're out there, hi, Phil.
Yeah.
So I think one thing that interests him as well is that he's not dealing with a lot of customers because it's a high value.
High transaction value comparatively.
Yeah, it's a high transaction value.
But in relation to that, you spun off in a totally different direction as you normally do. But what I was talking about, why was it a 2-year wait?
So 2-year wait?
What's significant about that made it happen?
It's just something that he really saw added a lot of value and can see him and his family in.
So you were waiting for leasing?
He needed to wait.
You're waiting for leasing, what was the reason?
Real estate for large format, which is what we're in, those homemaker centers, is really hard to get into, really hard. And he knew Sydney was the market he needed to be into. He was in a job, so there wasn't that essence of time where, hey, I've got nothing, I'm doing nothing, I'm not earning any income, I need something quick. He could afford to wait for the right opportunity to come up.
So it was a real alignment thing, wasn't it? Planets aligned a bit.
It was. And so there were a couple options that have come along the way within those 2 years, and they just didn't feel right by both parties, by franchisor side and the franchisee. And then when this came up, it was almost a gift. Yeah.
So with that back in context on the shop fit cost or the joinery cost and everything like that and the savings with it, how does that play out in context and why is it so important?
Obviously, less entry cost, lower the loan value, the quicker that gets paid off as well, which is a big thing. So therefore, your return on investment, the window's a lot quicker than if we were to pay a higher entry fee. Also, too, it minimizes risk more for him. If he's got a lower entry cost, the risk is
so it's all upside.
Brought in. Yeah, of course it is. It's not just that as well. It's there's plenty of benefits to it.
Yeah, and the quality. I suppose the main thing from your end is every time I've spoken to you about this, because we've been talking about this concept for a few weeks now and talking about it, is quality. Your primary thing was your cost is one thing, but you're concerned about the quality out, or making sure the quality output was the same.
Oh, exactly, and it is. I mean, we had samples at the beginning of the year of what this new joinery was going to look like, and we couldn't fault it then. The quality of the man hours that have gone into it to make it, because we're talking wood here, second to none. The painting, couldn't fault the painting whatsoever. So it was no-brainer, really.
So on the horizon, looking forward, still looking for locations in Sydney, obviously this strategy is going to keep rolling out into all new stores you do across the country. What's on the horizon?
Yeah, exactly. So new stores in Sydney, always looking for new property. We've got quite a few existing franchisees that now see the entry costs have come down. It's making it more attractive for them to get multiple stores. So
that's interesting. I was only thinking new, but you have a number of multi-siders as well, don't you?
That's right. That's right. We've got a couple in Melbourne of long-standing franchisees that have now put their hand up and said now's the time to go into a second store because the entry cost is considerably lower. Same thing up in Queensland as well.
Excellent.
So it's not just the new franchisees coming in; it's existing ones jumping on a great opportunity.
Excellent. All right, exciting times ahead, no doubt.
You betcha.
Thanks for filling us in on a great project. Well done to Bedshed for doing that, because obviously helping reduce entry costs is win-win on all sides, isn't it? So,
you bet. It's a team effort.
Yeah.
So on behalf of the team, thank you.
Excellent. All right, we'll pass on those best wishes. Thanks, Reed. And that's it for another on the Franchise Everything podcast. Hope you liked that. Please share, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll catch you probably at a very different location again soon.